Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and I did a video a few hours ago today discussing why I would heavily discourage my own children or loved ones from getting involved in competitive bodybuilding. And it seems like one of the criticisms, which is a completely absurd argument, that, well, why don't I say the same thing about powerlifting? And maybe I should address that from powerlifting. Because powerlifting is not a fully safe sport, and yeah, at the upper echelons of the sport, it is probably close to, if not as dangerous as bodybuilding is. So yeah, let's go ahead and address that so that it doesn't sound hypocritical to people. And I've addressed this before, so I think it's weird that people want to attack that when I have admitted there are inherent dangers in powerlifting, particularly at the extreme level. And the downside is there's no real money in powerlifting either. It's not a professional sport. You're not going to make millions of dollars doing powerlifting or bodybuilding for the most part. You're only going to make those off side businesses to where you're selling something. You're not going to make it from being a competitor in either one of those. You're not going to make much money at all. In fact, you're probably going to lose money even at the top levels. But yeah, that being said, the difference is that doesn't exist at all levels in powerlifting. It is very possible for people to compete in powerlifting and do okay with very, very minimal risk. Whereas with bodybuilding, even competing in a local show, the dieting down that they expect you to do to get that lean is going to carry the risk of the hormonal issues, the depression, the eating disorders, crashing your testosterone levels, crashing your thyroid levels. You can suffer a lot of very, very negative effects by competing at the lowest levels in even natural bodybuilding. Whereas with powerlifting, the risks are much lower. Most powerlifters using less drugs than most bodybuilders until you start getting up into the upper echelons of the sport. And yeah, then the drug use starts becoming rampant. And that includes even in tested powerlifting. And yeah, do I know guys in powerlifting who abuse levels of anabolic steroids and other performance-enhancing drugs that I would personally consider to be very unsafe? Yes, I have personal friends of mine who do. I do know the drug stacks through some coaches of some of the top lifters in the sport, and some of their doses I would consider to be literally insane. And I can't envision a sane person putting that into their body for less than $10 million. I just can't envision that, yet they choose to do it. So are the risks there? Absolutely. And even then with powerlifting, I think it's fair to say that it's probably something possibly mentally defective with you if you really and truly desire to put 600 pounds of dead weight on a barbell onto your back and squat it. Yeah, there's probably something slightly mentally wrong with you that you think that is something you would like to do for fun and competition for no money. So we're not without our own issues in powerlifting. And I don't want people to think I'm being hypocritical with the bodybuilding thing, because what we do is dangerous to some extent. I just don't think it's as dangerous and harmful to your health as bodybuilding is just statistically and overall. Again, until you get to the upper echelons of both, in which case they both become really absurd as far as the risk that you're taking with minimal payout. But at the lower levels, I think the powerlifting is safer, but it isn't without risk itself. So let's be realistic. Neither one is particularly safe, but powerlifting has the potential to be a lot safer as long as you're not getting crazy with a lot of things. You're not abusing a lot of drugs. You're not using bad technique. You're using good programs that minimize your chances of risk. You're using good safeties and things. The risk is much, much lower, but they are still there. All right, guys, that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I will talk to you guys next time.